first time, and now I'm just like super psyched whenever you come in, because it's already like, if I'm having a morning, all I can think is, remember kindness, remember this, and then you brought me this book.
Well, thank you.
And I'm so excited, because I've only gotten to read, like, I think I got through the first chapter, and that was as much as I got to. So now I get to do this over the weekend, and I'm
Yep, and it's
so
a short,
excited.
quick read, The Kindness Giver's Formula.
Yes.
It just had a little article in the Voice of Muscatine. Yay.
Yay!
Thanks to the Voice of Muscatine for putting that out there. And I appreciate you having me on this morning.
Oh, absolutely. Now, so you got a lot of stuff coming up. I mean, you're a busy dude anyway.
Well, so. I'm trying to be busy spreading the message of kindness.
Right.
So.
Well, that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So one of the first things that we were talking about is it's the thing that's coming up on December 6th.
Yep.
That you'll be a part of. So
Yeah.
go ahead and talk about that.
Well, I'm working really hard. I just wrote an article that's going to be coming out in the Voice of Muscatine next week on Jessica Faye's Closet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have had the chance to talk to Matt Piney as well as Sharon Pastor Phillips a little bit about Jessica's Faye's Closet and why it exists and what they're doing. And, you know, it's just a wonderful thing. And people here know the story. I think, you know, most of the people in Muscatine know the story of Jessica Faye, how she was a little girl, she's 5 years old, 1998, walking home from school with her siblings, and she ran out in front of a car and was struck and killed. And, you know, it would have been really easy for Matt and Tanya Piney to allow that tragedy to make them bitter, to crush them, to you know, keep them down.
Yeah.
But instead of allowing them to do that, they almost immediately started using that challenge as a stepping stone and as an opportunity to honor Jessica. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that on their, after their Christmas, right after Christmas, they had a candlelight vigil. They donated their presents to Sharon Pastor, the presents that they were going to give to Jessica Faye. They said, you know, they didn't want to take them back to the store. They said, hey, you know, Sharon Pastor, can you take these and give them to something in need? And it was amazing talking to Sharon Pastor earlier this week. Mm-hmm. She said she got home after midnight that night, and within minutes she got a call from a mother saying, hey, I don't have any presents for my kids. Is there anything you can do to help? And so she was able to take and use those presents immediately. And then, you know, I'm spoiling my article.
That's okay.
But
people are still going to
anyway,
read it. Yeah.
They are doing great things. And coming up on the 6th of December, they're going to be a part of the Christmas walk.
Yes.
You know, the wonderful Christmas walk that Muscatine does every year.
Mm-hmm. Matt's going to be the Grinch, I think.
He might be.
That's what I heard.
He might be. You know, I don't want to throw out any spoilers for him. But they're going to be at they were going to be at the I think the Muscatine Brewing Company, but I think that's changed now. They're going to be at the corner of Iowa and 2nd Street.
Right.
And so they're going to be meeting there. But they're doing a coat drive. And well, I should rephrase that. They're doing a winter clothing drive.
Okay.
Anything that you have, you know, gently used, that you would be willing to donate to bring it down. And, you know, the beautiful thing about Jessica's Faye's Closet, they're not a thrift store.
Yeah.
I mean, they're set up like
free.
a thrift store, but it's free. Mm-hmm. They work on a no-cash basis. People can come in. If you need something, you see something that you can use, you take it, and there's no questions asked.
Yes.
You know, so that is a wonderful thing. You know, and a big part of why I'm doing this is because they need some exposure.
Yeah.
They really need some exposure. They, you know, Matt puts together a beautiful ride every year, Pearl City Riders, and as well as a music festival, you know, with 10 to 12 bands. And they're able to raise some money, but it's not, you know, it's not a lot.
Right.
They're able to raise some money. So I want to raise awareness for them, want to do what I'm doing. You know, I'm doing this so that, you know, good-hearted people, no amount of money is too small. No donation is too small. And anyone who would like to donate, you know, reach out to Sharon Pastor Phillips. Mm-hmm. And, you know, in fact, she won't mind if I give her phone number. She told me to give it on air.
Yeah, we've given it out before here.
So let me get that right now so I can give it to all the wonderful people in your audience. Bear with me for just...
Oh, that's fine. No, Pastor, she is something else and has done such great work herself. And so I'm excited to get that
and
number.
Here's
back
that
up
number.
there.
If you need to, if you would like to find out how you can donate, what you can do, it's 563-554-5430.
Yes.
One of the things, you know, if there's anybody out there, kind-hearted soul, who has a bigger building, that they want to donate.
Oh, sure. There you go.
You know? They could use a bigger building. They've outgrown where they're at. I mean, they could do twice as much or 3 times as much as what they're doing, maybe 5 times as much as what they're doing if they had a bigger building.
Right.
So anyway, that's one of the things I'm trying to do to promote some kindness, to give exposure to other good people who are doing kind things.
Well, and that's, you know what, that's the other thing that I noticed moving to this area is that I've seen, like, because of, like, Jessica Faye's Closet, and there's something that they're doing called the blessing bags that's going on now that Tiffany Huntington was talking about. I've heard more about these donations, just more donation sites and places to do these things. I'm overwhelmed by how many of these we have, how many people are out there trying to help others, and it's just shining through with Muscatine. I'm just so impressed. I just think it's so neat that we have so many of these really great groups of people that are coming together and putting these things together. It's just something else.
And that is a beautiful thing, and that leads right into my next topic. If you want to.
Absolutely.
On December 11th and December 8th or 13th, so 2 times next week, actually, or no, the week after, week following.
Yep.
I'm going to be doing a community kindness seminar at the Muscatine Public Library from 7 to 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Both nights, 7 to 8 o'clock on the 11th, 7 to 8 o'clock on the 13th. And talking a little bit about kindness and kindness initiatives. The beautiful thing about Muscatine is we have so many good-hearted people who are already doing kindness. Mm-hmm. But I want to talk a little bit about how kindness isn't just an individual thing. It's an individual thing. It's a family thing. It's a neighborhood thing. It's a community thing. Mm-hmm. And the beautiful thing is when kindness is at the top of the agenda, whether it's at home, whether it's with yourself, whether it's in the neighborhood or in the community. And when I say community, I mean at school, at work, at church, at wherever, any organization that you're involved in. When kindness is involved, the economics of kindness gets involved.
Right.
Kindness unleashes a power, an economic power, that far too many people are not taking advantage of.
Yes, that is so true.
Far too many people are not taking advantage of. In fact, I listened to a great talk this morning. A guy talking about that. He called it the economics of goodness. I could easily substitute the economics of kindness and say, it's a simple but powerful idea. Every nation state has economic assets that they have minerals, they have seaport or some other item that they use to produce wealth.
Yeah.
But they don't, too often they don't take advantage of their greatest asset, and it's a universal asset, and that's the economics of kindness. Here's something to think about. Think about what would happen if people implemented or had kindness on their agenda every day, and use this simple formula. They get up and they determine every day that they're going to be kind. You come into work, you determine you're going to be kind. Wherever you're going, you determine you're going to be kind. And then you think about what you're doing during the day. Think about it. Think about where I'm going to be, who I'm going to be with, what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
And you plan out. Like I talked about the last time, I'm revisiting what I spoke about last time, but you plan out what you can, ways you can be kind.
Yep.
And then you look for and act on those ways. And you invite and encourage other people to do that. Now think about what could happen in our community, in our country, in the world. Imagine the economic heft of a nation, state, or community free of drug or alcohol abuse. Mm-hmm. Think about how those would go down if there was more kindness, more good people, more people treating themselves kindly, more people treating their loved ones kindly, more people being neighborly, more people reaching out. Yeah. More reaching out. Think about that.
Absolutely.
Think about how healthcare costs would go down. There are scientific studies that show people who are kinder are happier. Mm-hmm. People who are kinder and happier are healthier.
That's a fact.
It is.
Yes.
It's an absolute fact.
Absolutely.
Think about this. It says, families that are torn apart by abuse and financial hardship, think about how many more of those families would be staying together.
Yeah.
Think about that. Mm-hmm. Think about all the heartache and pain that would be reduced. There's another quick thing he talks about. Think about how there would be less violence in society.
Yeah.
And we'd have to build and maintain a lot less prisons.
Isn't that something?
So you think about all those things, all those costs going down, not only physical or financial costs, but also emotional costs.
Right.
And then think about the economic benefits that come from that. All the money, all the trillions of dollars that you could spend investing in education,
Yes.
in the community infrastructure, that weren't being spent on all these other things. Think about people with greater self-esteem. What happens when you feel good about yourself? You want to work harder.
Yeah. And you share that with others.
And you share that with others.
Yes.
You want to lift, you want to build, you want to strengthen, you want to uphold.
Yes.
So I'm not only, I'm going to be doing these seminars. I also have a meeting set up with, I am now a member of World Kindness USA. My organization, Kindness Hunters International, is a member of World Kindness USA.
Yeah.
And I am a Goodwill ambassador for them. And so I'm going to be meeting with Mayor Broderson to talk to her about starting an initiative for Muscatine, the kind city, to become a World Kindness City.
Oh, excellent.
And I'll be meeting with her on the 16th of December, going down to City Hall and presenting, that idea to her. I talked to her a little bit about it on the phone and excited to meet with her. She is such a sweetheart. She was so nice to me on the phone, and she has that wonderful the city of Muscatine. I know I'm saying it wrong, but there's a TV show that's on once a week. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook, and she just brought the lady who's doing the blessing bags and don't remember the name of the other lady, but they were talking about all these wonderful things that are going on at Christmas time and stuff. Had them on the TV, and so I know that Mayor Broderson has a kind heart, and I'm really excited to talk with her. Looking forward to meeting with her and seeing what we can do to kick off the initiative for Muscatine to become a World Kindness City.
What strikes me, too, is that even just talking about kindness, even just talking with you, and I think other people would even listening to this, it automatically makes you smile. You know what I mean?
You can't help it.
You can't help it. And then that's contagious. It's the best kind of contagion in the world, really, is the smiling and the happiness and the feeling
It is.
of it. So.
And interesting, I think what our smile muscles are called are the zygostigmatic muscles or something. I'm muscles. Boy, I can't speak English. But they need to be exercised more. We should be exercising them every day. Mm-hmm. A beautiful thing, just like kindness doesn't know any barriers.
Yeah.
Doesn't know any language barriers, doesn't know any barriers. People understand kindness. Same thing with a smile. Mm-hmm. I wrote a song that I actually published with my daughters a few years ago called "Everybody Speak Smile."
Oh,
and maybe I might do a revived version of that. I have to change a couple of the words because one of the cities that I named in it is where you go is no longer called that.
Oh,
but it's true. Nobody, there are no barriers to smiles. There are no barriers to kindness.
Yep.
And the wonderful derivatives of kindness is happiness.
Yeah.
I went through a deep, dark depression when I was in college. Period of time, I didn't want to get out of bed, didn't want to do anything, all I wanted to do was sleep.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to, and fortunately for me, I had some wonderful friends, one wonderful friend in particular that came and practically kicked my tail. He dragged me out of my room, dragged me out of my apartment, and said, "You're coming to this meeting with me." And I went to the meeting, and it was a meeting for Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
Oh, wow.
And I'll tell you, that program at that time was exactly what I needed because it got me out of myself.
Yes.
It got me out of my head. It stopped me from focusing on the woe is me. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. It got me out of the victim mode and out of the feeling sorry for myself mode. And when I started focusing on those little kids and finding ways that I could be a help and a blessing to them.
Yes.
My whole perspective changed. The depression went away. It was gone. Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, it was just like 10,000 pounds had been lifted off my shoulders. Now I'm not going to trivialize depression.
No.
I know there's a lot of people out there who really struggle with that. What I will say, one great way to combat it is by forgetting yourself and serving somebody.
Yeah.
And there's little ways. Say a kind word. When you get up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, I have value. Because everybody does. Everybody has value.
Right.
Everybody has value. I have value. I'm a good person. I am capable of doing good things. Mm-hmm. I have talents that I can use to bless and lift others.
Yes.
Everybody can do that. Mm-hmm. And then go out and do it.
Yep.
And go through the formula.
Right.
Think about it. Look for and act on ways. Take every opportunity. The big challenge a lot of people have is there's so many good, kind-hearted people, but they passively wait for opportunities to be kind to come to them. Their kindness antennas are not up.
Right.
They're not looking actively everywhere they go for an opportunity to be kind.
Right.
And, it's been amazing to me, since I put this formula in place, I have noticed so many things, and I think I talked about this the last time I was here. I noticed so many things that were right in front of my face before that I wasn't seeing just because I wasn't paying attention.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
Mm-hmm. We get so self-involved, especially like with depression, and I am still going through it myself. Yeah. What is actually lifting me up is getting up, coming to work, doing something like this show, going out and smiling at people, and then even when I go home and I still feel sad, I think about, but look what you did today. You actually made the effort. You got out of bed. You did this. And somebody smiled listening to you. You're doing at least one person a service.
Yeah.
Then you feel better. And then I see that my depression, I've noticed ever since I moved here, just markedly, just dialing back. Going down. And it feels so good. And you're right.
It does.
It's like that weight is lifted off your shoulders.
It does. You're every time I get out and serve somebody, my own, I have my own challenges. Mm-hmm. We all have our own challenges, our own burdens. Mm-hmm. And I've really struggled for even... I struggle at times with my self-esteem.
Yeah.
I have found there is no better way to lift your self-esteem than by helping somebody else.
Yep.
There's a story told, and this is a religious story, but I'm not going to, I'm not trying to convert anybody or anything, but a good man many years ago was a missionary. Mm-hmm. He was over in England, and his parents were paying for him to be there. It was a volunteer opportunity. And he got there, and nobody wanted to listen to him. He was totally discouraged. He hated what he was doing, and he wrote home to his father, and he said, what am I doing here? I'm just wasting your money. And I'm wasting my time. Nobody wants to listen to me. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. What am I doing here? His wise father wrote back a very simple sentence. Son, forget yourself and go to work. Forget yourself and go to work.
Wow.
That man never forgot that lesson.
Yeah.
He never forgot that lesson. He went on to become, an amazing church leader, mm-hmm. and did so much good in his community and throughout the world. Traveled throughout the world, touching hearts, changing lives, doing good, giving service. Amazing, amazing example for us. Mm-hmm. And so, we can all do the same kind of thing, within our sphere of influence.
Yeah.
We don't have to go around the world or travel or anything, but we can be kind at home.
Mm-hmm.
We can be kind to our neighbors. I love my neighbors.
Yes.
Love the people in this town. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Randy, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I have a few questions just regarding maybe a little pushback on kindness, if we can touch on that when we come back, okay?
You bet.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here on thevoiceofmuscatine.com.
Possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
In Maui, the third-ranked Michigan State Spartans bounced back from their opening loss to pick up a 93-85 victory over Georgia. Cassius Winston leading the way with 28 points and 8 assists. The Spartans will take on UCLA this afternoon. Rutgers improves to 5-1 with an 85-58 win over NJIT. In the Cayman Islands, Nebraska falls to George Mason 85-66. And Illinois with a 117-65 victory over Lindenwood. I'm Tim Fisher. This is...
Well, that was Big Ten today. He got cut off right there. Welcome back to Moving Forward. I'm here with Randy McNeely, the author of The Kindness Giver's Formula, which I can't wait to read. And we were talking before. I wanted to bring this up because, you know, it's one thing for us to go out in the community and just spread kindness the best we can. But then there's always going to be, and I know because I was like this, you know, especially in my 20s, it's like, stop with all the blah, blah, blah happiness, you know, bull. Because I was I was so down on myself and I just hated the world and it just, but I was miserable. And so do you get a lot of pushback from people?
You know, it's interesting. I haven't had a lot. I've had some. You know, one guy says, you know, I just don't see what the benefits of kindness are. You know, of course, and we just talked about all the benefits of kindness, you know, previously, so I'm not going to go back into that. But, you know, there's a seeds and fruits process. You know, I can't really, you know, what I responded to him eventually was, you know, I can't really show you what the benefits of kindness are. I need to invite you to take action and discover them for yourselves.
Right.
You need to plant the seed. You need to start, you know, do it for a week.
Yeah. Yes.
Experiment. Mm-hmm. Do it for a week. Use the Kindness Giver's Formula. Put it into practice for a week. Every day, take 5 or 10 minutes. Think about how you can be kind. Think about who you're going to be with. You know, like I said, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Think about those things. Then look for and act on ways to be kind. And then invite and encourage others to do it. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to think about, okay, how did this affect me today? Mm-hmm. How did it affect me today? And I can promise you, I can promise anybody, I am bold enough to promise anybody who takes it seriously and who seriously puts it in, that they will notice a difference.
Yes.
They will notice a difference. You know, I was talking in Chicago to the sweetest lady on the planet, beautiful lady named Beverly Price. Mm-hmm. Real sweetheart. Amazing producer and everything. And she lives kindness. Mm-hmm. But she said, you know, Randy, since talking to you and since reading your book and putting your formula into practice, it's been amazing to me how many other things I've noticed about kindness are ways that I could be kind.
Yes.
I've just my kindness antennas are up all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so I would the first thing I would say is look for or put the kindness formula to the test.
Yeah.
Put it to the test. Another challenge I face is, you know, goodness, kindness. You're just trying to push religion on people. Mm. The fact is, yes, you know, religion, goodness, and kindness are a big part of religion. That's an absolutely true statement. Religion wouldn't be religion without goodness and kindness. It just wouldn't be. But it's not about religion. It's, you know, going back to the article I was talking about earlier, when this guy, he stood up and he talked about, you know, the economics of goodness and what could come from it. Another guy that was in the room stood up and said, you know, you're just trying to push, what do you mean by goodness? You're just trying to turn this into some kind of religious discussion. And before the guy could respond, another man in the room stood up. And he said, not true. I am an atheist.
Oh.
I am an atheist. You know, he says, this is not about religion.
Yeah.
It's about human behavior. Mm-hmm. It's about predictability and consequences. He says, you know, people who work hard do better than slackers. Mm-hmm. True statement.
That's a fact.
People who work hard, do better than slackers. Mm-hmm. Those who are honest get into less trouble than those people that aren't.
Yes.
He says people who are kind have more friends than those who are cruel. Mm-hmm. It's true. Natural consequences. He says communities in which people serve and care for each other That's what I love about Muscatine. Communities which serve and care for each other are safer than those where this is not true.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, those are, it's not, religion doesn't have a corner on the market on kindness. It is a derivative of religion. I mean, they teach goodness and kindness, but a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine are not necessarily religious.
Yeah.
But they're some of the kindest people on the planet.
Yeah.
And so, there's predictable consequences. When we treat each other with kindness, when we give kindness, we prosper.
Yes.
There's an old saying, cast your bread upon the waters, it comes back to you again. When you're kind, kindness always comes back.
Yes.
It always does. May not come back immediately.
No. Because it is like it's a boomerang effect with kindness.
There's some people that are just not going to take to it. And you can't get distressed over that.
No. That's when you move on.
And that's when you just, move on. I had a wonderful conversation with one of my LinkedIn connections. We had actually not just on LinkedIn, but we actually talked to each other on the phone.
Oh, sure.
And she says, there's just some people that I can't, I can't be around. I can't, I said, it's okay to walk away from a toxic relationship. Does that mean, that doesn't mean you treat those people with unkindness. You just say, hey, this here's what I do. This relationship is not working for me.
Right.
I appreciate you. I appreciate the fact that you have your own life and your own opinions, but this relationship is toxic for me, and I don't wish you. I don't have ill will towards you. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I just can't be around you.
Yes.
I can't be with you. I've had to cut off some quote Facebook friends and stuff like that and unfortunately I've been, I wish I could say I'd never been that way.
Yeah.
I've been the toxic guy.
Yeah.
I wish I could say I'd never been that way. But I have.
But you wouldn't have gotten here had you not gone through that period. I really believe that. I mean, at my worst periods of time, there's no way I would become this person had I not had been that person.
We have to go through challenges to grow.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
do. I've always had a good, kind heart, even when I was kind of the toxic guy. And and the reason I say I was toxic is I allowed politics and other things to get in the way of respecting people.
We're seeing that a lot more right now.
And we are seeing that a lot more.
It's painful.
We're seeing people, our society right now is going through a massive societal climate change.
Yes.
We're seeing light and love and unity and peace being displaced at an exponential rate.
Yes.
Corroded by darkness, by hate, by divisiveness, by contention.
Yeah.
And so that's I'm a man on a mission. I want to restore those things.
Yes.
Kindness isn't the only solution, but boy, is it a big part of the solution.
Well, and you doing this right now, I mean, the timeliness of, I think, the book and of you going around and doing these seminars and just talking to people right now is when we need it the most. Absolutely.
Well, and there is a big movement afoot. You see it in the world. There are a lot more kindness movements out there. You do a Google search.
Yeah.
You do a Google search. There's a lot of things happening. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
People see what's happening in the world. They get fed, with the constant 24 hours, 24 hours, 365 by 7 days a week, 7 by 365 by 24 or whatever it is.
Right.
I can't 7 by 24 by 365. That's it. Yes. We're constantly getting fed a diet of downer fodder.
Yes.
And
that you watch enough of that can turn you into someone very angry and very depressed very quickly.
It does. Like they say, we are what we eat.
Yeah, we are what we watch.
We are what we take in.
Yes.
And one of the things that is interesting to me is how, one of the effects of this societal climate change is a much more greater acceptance of coarse language.
Yes.
What you didn't used to hear on the air or on TV, the F-bomb.
Yeah.
People are dropping that word like it's nothing. People use the names of God and Jesus Christ with total disrespect all the time. People, use coarse language. Just it doesn't even have to be swearing. They're unkind. They say unkind things,
Right.
and that's becoming more and more acceptable. And we're getting to where people are desensitized to it. They don't think about it. I would challenge people to, I believe people are smart enough and wise enough to be able to come up with ways to communicate without having to resort to using those language, to using explicatives.
Expletives.
Expletives.
There it is.
Yes, expletives. That's it. And see, I can't talk. I can't explicitly talk about expletives. But I think people are smart enough to come up with other ways to express themselves.
I'm certainly, being in radio, it's been years now that I've been doing this, and it is a great fear when you're on the air. Even if you're excited about something, you're so afraid that you're going to say something really exciting with the use of one of those words.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
But that's because I grew up around those words. Lots of brothers, lots of that kind of thing. So
trust me, I unfortunately, I wish I could say I hadn't been that way, but
Right.
my father, God rest his soul, he used pretty foul language. And despite the fact that we were a religious family and we
Right.
were taught, my mom, I never heard my mom swear except for once really on very rare occasions, but my dad swore up a storm, and so that's what I used to do. And unfortunately, and I wish I could say I was perfect now and that I don't ever use that language, but I
Right.
do. But I'm trying to be kinder to the ears
Yes.
of the people around me.
Yeah.
And it's not only in the use of expletives, but it's also just in the things I say.
Mm-hmm. That makes all the difference.
The things I
right
say,
there. Yes.
is what I'm going to say going to lift somebody, or is it going to bring them down?
Yeah.
And that's just another simple way to show kindness, by striving to always say things that lift.
Yeah.
And striving to use words to express ourselves in a way that lifts,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't bring others down, or doesn't. How can I say it? Destroy the climate.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Anyway, lots of good things we're trying to do out there. So
Well, and you've got a lot. Let's one more time go over what you got coming up. So you got December 6th.
December 6th, the Christmas walk. The Jessica Face Closet's doing the coat drive. And I'm doing everything I can to try to promote that. In fact, I haven't talked to Matt Piney about this, but I'm going to come down and stand with them for a while down there where they're where Jessica Face Closet is going to be represented at Iowa and 2nd Street.
I'm sure they'll appreciate that.
And then I'm doing the community kindness seminars, just talking a little bit more about kindness, about the Kindness Givers Formula, and about how it can be applied with ourselves, with our families, with our neighborhoods, with the community at large.
Will you have the books at your seminars?
I will. They will. Unfortunately, they will. I will be there for anyone who purchases one and brings it in. And they're cheaper than a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Almost cheaper. I mean, it's $7 for a paperback, which I can sign.
Yeah.
And it's $4 for the ebook version, which obviously I can't sign. But they will not allow me to do any kind of sales or anything. Of the books
at
the seminar. And
Yeah. Okay.
I wish I could afford to just give them away to everybody, but I can't do that.
Well, we got to fund your initiative.
But anybody who purchases the book and brings the book in, I am going to be staying there to do a book signing after the seminars.
And they can get
on both
that.
nights.
They can order that from you.
They can order that on Amazon. You go to Amazon and just do a search for the Kindness Givers Formula, and it will come right up.
There you go. Well,
Yep.
Randy, I'm so excited. I'm so excited that you showed up here today. You are always welcome here. Anytime you have something to say, I want to get you out there. And I always, just this last time, and I know today I'm going to walk away with feeling good again, because that's just what you do when you come around.
Well, me too. I see your smiling face, Amy, and I can't help but feel good. So this is awesome.
Thank you. Well, again, anytime you want, you come back.
All right.
Okay.
Appreciate you, Amy. Thank you.
You too. All right. So this has been Moving Forward. Stick around. We've got Weather Watch coming up right here on thevoiceofmuscatine.com.
We'd like to thank MPW Digital TV and